Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ben with Irritable Gardens. I have a nice one for you today. Today, I want to show you guys what to do when you store your cuttings in the fridge for some weeks or months, and then when it is time for you to root your cuttings, and you bring it out of your fridge only to discover that your cuttings have molds. Yeah, sometimes cuttings, either fruit tree cuttings or fig cuttings, can have mold. It depends on what you use in wrapping your fig cuttings before storing it in the fridge. So don't be surprised if that happens. But now I'm going to show you what to do if your fig cuttings or your fruit tree cuttings have mold while storing it in the fridge. Now I want to share with you guys what I'm about to do here. I have this cutting stored in the fridge. You can see it. And let me show you one here. See it? You see? Rockaway green cuttings. It is in this bag. And I put it in the fridge. And then when I took them out of the Ziploc bag, open it up, I saw them looking like this, mold. Because of the paper, it's so wet. It was more than moist. So that affected the cuttings. Look at this. You can see it has started growing even in the Ziploc bag. It has some mold on it. So what do you do when you see it looking like this? You don't want to use it like this. You don't want to root it like this because the mold will continue and it will affect the cutting. Look at this one here. So because it's been in the fridge for a while, and this paper towel was more than moist. It was wet, and because of that, it affected these cuttings while they were in the bag. So now I brought them out. So what do? You want to clean it up with hydrogen peroxide. So I have some water already in the sink here. So what I'm going to do is pour some and mix it. Let me add some more. Okay. And then what I would do is to take them leave them in here leave them in the solution for some minutes. Let it soak a little bit so that will kill the mold on the cuttings. That will kill the mold on the cutting. And then you leave it for it to soak, and then you wash it, and then you let it dry. Before you start routing the cuttings. Yeah. Because if you don't wash it with this solution, the mold we want to continue to grow. Look at, you see? Look at that. On the paper towel that I wrap it with, because it was too moist. It was too damp. So it affected the color. So I will let it soak for a few minutes, and then I will show you what I've done with the cutting. While I'm done washing the cuttings, see, there is much difference now. So I'm going to leave it to get dried before I will start rooting them. Look at the water. Look at how dirty the water is. And right now, I can use it in Ziploc bag without it having any problem. I can root it in Ziploc bag with no mold on it anymore. Or I can root it in a heating bin and it won't grow any mold because of the moisture in the Ziploc bag, the moisture in the shoebox, the moisture in the bin that you put it in because you cover it. So that creates moisture. But now that it has been washed and cleaned with hydrogen peroxide, it will not grow mold anymore. So all I'm doing now is just to wait for it to dry, and then I will start rooting them. So there is no cause for alarm when you root or when you store cuttings in the fridge, and when it's time for you to root it and you see it having mold, just go and get hydrogen peroxide. The one I got it from Dollar Tree store, just $1.25. Mix it with water, leave it in there for some minutes, let it soak, and then use your hand to scrub, to scrub the cuttings. And this is one problem also, if you have cuttings that are not well lignified. See, this cutting is not well lignified compared to this one. You can see the difference, but everything has been taken care of, so I'm good to go. Now the cuttings are dried. After washing the cuttings with hydrogen parasite with water. So now it's time to root the cuttings. Now I want to talk briefly about my rooting medium, which is perlite and potting mix. Now the reason why I'm using perlite and potting mix, now the ratio is 3:1. 3 cups of perlite to 1 cup of potting mix. The reason why I'm using this is because I don't want much soil in rooting these cuttings, because potting soil or potting mix have living organism in it, and that can affect your cuttings if you overwater your cuttings. But with perlite, with 3:1 perlite and potting mix, the water will drain very well. Now the reason why I'm using soil, I would prefer a soilless rooting medium. But if I use perlite only, and when it is time to uppot it or transplant it from the cup to a bigger container, if it's only perlite, all the perlite will just fall off, remaining the root. But with a little bit of soil, it will keep the perlite together, and also it will be able to retain a little bit of water in the cup, because this cup has drainage. You can see it has drainage. Can you see? It has hole for drainage. So water will be able to drain out of the cup easily, but at the same time, the soil will be able to retain some of the water. But if it is only perlite, it will not be able to retain water much. It's just a little bit. And that will make you to keep watering the cutting a lot of times. But I don't want to root, I don't want to water my cutting all the time. If possible, once a week or once in 10 days, I water it. It will drain out, but it will still keep some moist because of the soil in it. So this is why I am adding soil. Some people will use vermiculite and perlite because they want it to be soilless. They don't want any living organism. But it might not hold very well by the time you are pulling out the plant or the rooted cutting to uppot it. All the vermiculite and perlite can just fall off the roots easily. But I still want something that will hold the soil together. The soil, the root, and the perlite. So that's why I'm using a little bit of soil with this perlite, but more perlite so that the water can drain out easily. So this is it. Now this is RDB, Ronde de Bordeaux cutting. You see, because I stored it in fridge, you can see it has started bringing out buds. Now you can see the top part of this cutting is still green. So this cutting is not well lignified. So even in the fridge, is bringing out new growth because it has more nutrients in it than this one that is completely lignified. This is Carini. This is completely lignified, you can see. But this one is not completely lignified. The bottom part is a little bit lignified, but the top is not. Alright, so I'm going to make sure that I have 2 or 3 nodes. This is 1, 2, 3. I want 2 or 3 nodes in the cup. So I'm pressing it so it won't have air in there. Okay, this is done. But there is something I want to show you guys. Now, when you use this medium, now this medium has been moist. I've mixed it with water. It's moist. Now let me show you something here. Now this here, now I have a spray bottle and I'm going to spray it, and I want you to see something. Can you see that the perlite is showing? Now what I'm doing is, by spraying it, it's making all the soil to go down. You see, it's making the soil to go down, and then the perlite will be at the top. With this, fungus gnat will not be able to stay in this cup. Fungus gnat will not be able to lay egg in this because the top is full of perlite. Just a little bit of soil at the top, but you can see that most of the soil have gone down. So now with this, fungus gnat will not be able to stay in this cup because the top has perlite. But you see, under the perlite at the top is soil. Now, even with, so you can see that the top has more perlite now. All the soil has gone beneath the perlite. So when fungus gnat come, if they come, they won't be able to penetrate through this cup because the perlite is going to stop the fungus gnat from going down to go and lay egg in there. So this is the reason why I'm using ratio 3:1. The soil will hold when it starts rooting, the root will be able to hold the soil and the perlite together. They will all be able to stick together. But the top is still safe from fungus gnat. So this is why I moistened the rooting medium first, a little bit, and then come and spray water at the top. You can see that there is no even water leaking out. There is no water leaking out because I moistened it a little bit. But with the water that I use in spraying the top, it's still okay because I've not overwatered these cuttings. But this is good. Fungus gnat have nothing on me. That is how you take care of cuttings that have molds. You wash it with hydrogen peroxide, mix it with water, and clean it. Let it dry, and after it dries, then you can root your cuttings. Well, if you like this video, if this video has encouraged you, if this video has inspired you, if you have gained something from this video, please like this video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell. Click on all so that every time I upload new videos, you'll be notified. Please share this video. I want to thank you. And I want to thank my subscribers. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.